Welcome everyone to another episode on Awesome Maths. Today we will attempt to solve some high-powered problems. So in which we have such kind of powers like x to the power of 6, x to the power of 5. So our first problem for the day is if x to the power of 6 plus x to the power of 3 is equal to 756, find the value of x. Right? So the first step in this problem is something which I have outlined here already. You just bring the 756 to the left hand side. So that becomes x to the power of 6 plus x to the power of 3 minus 756 equals to 0. Now this is a very difficult problem to solve if we attempt to solve it using x to the power of 6. So what do we do here? Well, our first step is, this implies x to the power of 3 whole to the power of 2 plus x to the power of 3 minus 756 is equal to 0. Right? Because all that I have used here is the property of powers, where very simply x to the power of m to the power of n is equal to x to the power of m into n. Right? So very simply, x to the power of 3 whole to the power of 2 coming from here becomes x to the power of 3 into 2, that is x to the power of 6. Now what do? We say let y is equal to x to the power of 3. Then we get, now y is x to the power of 3. So y square plus y minus 756 is equal to 0. Is that right? Just check here. I have just substituted y here. So then that becomes a simple quadratic equation in which the variable y is equal to x cube. Now we have learned earlier how to solve quadratic equations. So we have to find two factors of 756 which will be such that we get two factors that will be equal to 0. So now again, this is in a rough work. So 756 can be written as 2 into 378, right? Can also be written as 4 into 189, right? I can also write this as, now if I divide this by 7, then that becomes 27, right? So it can be 4 into 7 into 27 is equal to 28 into 27. And this is the magic factors that we need. Why is that? Because the difference between 28 and 27 is 1. And in the variable here, we have a 1. We have only a single y. So as we have seen before, what we shall do is, we write y here. So breaking this up, y into y, one factor will be 28, one factor will be minus 27. Why would that be? That would be because 28 into y minus 27y will give us the positive y that is here, right? So we have a plus 28 minus 27, multiplying these two gives us minus 756. So what are our factors? This implies y plus 28, y minus 27 is equal to 0, right? Now from here we get either of two things. One is y plus 28 equals 0, right? The other is y minus 27 equals 0. This gives us y is equal to minus 28 and this gives us y is equal to 27. So what we already know is that y is equal to x cube, right? That was our assumption here, which implies x cube is equal to minus 28 or positive 27. Now, in these kind of problems, typically you will see that there will be a multiple choice given to you in the examination. So either we will make it or cube root of 27, which will mean x is equal to cube root of minus 28 or 3. So as I was saying, you will see that inside the Olympiad paper or the international competitive paper where this question has been asked, there will be a multiple choice answer. Either, and in that typically, I don't think that the answer that they will be searching for is cube root of minus 28. It will typically a proper integer, which is 3. So here you can say that the answer to x is equal to 3, and you can just calculate it here. 3 to the power of 6. 3 to the power of 6 is equal to 729 plus 3 to the power of 3, that is 27. So if you add those two up, you will get 756. So the answer in this case is likely to be 3, unless the multiple choice answer also has a cube root of minus 28 specified. Wasn't that awesome to solve a problem that looked so difficult in some easy but very, very fulfilling steps? Moving on to our second problem. Okay, so our second problem is like this. If x to the power of 4 minus 4x square minus 25 equals 500, find the value of x. Right? So again, our first step here would be to have this 500 brought to the left hand side. So what do we get? We get x to the power of 4 minus 4x squared minus 525 is equal to 0. Again, this looks like a complicated question because we have x to the power of 4 and we have x to the power of 2. So let's do the same thing that we had done in our first problem so that it will simplify this. This implies x to the power of 2 whole to the power of 2 minus 4x squared minus 525 is equal to 0. So again, we have used the same formula that a to the power of m to the power of n is equal to a to the power of m into n. Right? This is a rough work. So we will follow the same steps. Let y is equal to x squared. Then replacing x squared with y, we get y squared. So x squared whole square is y squared minus 4y minus 525 is equal to 0. Okay, so now we go back to our quadratic equation. Now we have to find factors of 525 so that broken down the difference or the sum of that will give us minus 4. So 525 can be written as obviously 1 into 525 is equal to 5 into 105, right, is equal to 25 into 21 as well. And when we see 25 into 21, we see that the difference between these two numbers can be equal to the number here in front of y. Okay, so we do the same thing. We put a y here, cross. So y here is splitting this y squared, and 25 and 21. So how will we put 25 and 21 with the appropriate signs, plus or minus, so that we get minus 4? So obviously minus 25 and plus 21. So minus 25y plus 21y will give us minus 4y. Right? So this implies y minus 25. So y minus 25 into y plus 21 is equal to 0. Now we can split this up. The two answers will be y minus 25 equals 0 or y plus 21 equals 0. Here we get y is equal to 25. Here we get y is equal to minus 21. And since y is equal to x squared, what does this mean? This means x squared is equal to 25 or x squared is equal to minus 21. But this is indeterminate because square root of a negative number, that is basically an imaginary number. So this we will cross. And here we get x is equal to square root of 25, which means x is equal to plus minus 5. So as per the answer that you have inside the multiple choice question in your Olympiad paper, if it says plus 5, you just take plus 5. If it says minus 5, you take the minus 5. Now an important point here is that in advanced classes, this actually has a solution, which is also found out in terms of an imaginary number I. But for having this simplified and for the objective of this question, I have ignored this for now. So our answer today is x is equal to plus or minus 5. Thank you. Hi kids. Maths is the language of the universe and I am doing everything that I can to make maths problems a bit easier for you. So if you like my videos, I would just request you to please like, subscribe, share all of my videos, and also send me your comments on what new maths problems you would like me to solve for you. Thank you and all the best.